Now, each week the competition is heating up and it's never been closer now that we're just 1 week away from Blackpool. So here to discuss each of the couples is this week's Friday panel! Thank you very much, thank you. First up, he is no stranger to Strictly. He was a Series 5 semi-finalist and he was our It Takes Two roving reporter. You simply cannot keep him away, and trust me, we've tried. It's Gethin Jones. You've seen her cracking jokes on stage, you've heard her on the radio, and now you can see her sitting on a sofa with a sparkly cushion. It's Catherine Bohart. Hello. And he's escaped from the countryside to join us in the studio. He captained Team GB's wheelchair rugby team in 2012, and let's hope that he can keep us on course tonight. It's Steve Brown. Hello. Right, let's get into it. Let's start with Jamie and Michelle. They're doing an Argentine tango.
Forensic. Looking through this, so I'm believing everything he says.
I can't wait to hear more from you. Okay.
He's ready.
Let's move on to Chris and Diane. They're doing a couple's choice. Catherine.
This is going to be pushing him a little bit harder, I think.
I believe in Steve. I saw his notes before the show. This guy's been forensic looking through this, so I'm believing everything he says.
I can't wait to hear more from you. Okay.
He's ready.
Let's move on to Chris and Diane. They're doing a couple's choice. Catherine, he's had a slight dip in scores over the last few weeks. Do you think that Chris can climb back up the leaderboard with this one?
Yeah, I think slight is the right word. It's been slight, and I absolutely think he can do anything. I mean, every time I watch him, I think the point of Strictly, he makes your heart melt.
Yeah.
He's so funny, so endearing. He's actually improving. I mean, last week in his slight dip, he threw himself on his knees across the floor.
He did.
Like a Man City player. I was like, what are you doing? This is crazy. It was so impressive. I absolutely think he can, and I think he will.
Can I say, a couple of weeks ago, getting on the D-Buzz bandwagon, I was watching it live 2 weeks ago. I was in the studio, and not just the dancing. We know the dancing is amazing, but Diane, the way she is with him, the whole time, he's enjoying the whole experience because of her. Like, we all know what they're doing on the dance floor. Brilliant.
Trusting as well. I think I'm not that open. He's so trusting. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a go. He's incredible.
Okay, let's move on to Wynne and Katia. They're doing an American Smooth. Gethin, you scored a 38 for your American Smooth with Camilla. What does Wynne need to do to secure those high scores, do you think?
Was that American Smooth? It was Tom Jones, wasn't it? Green grass. Yeah, I mean, Craig was talking about choreography again. Like making the right dance for Wynne. I think you got a great chance with an American Smooth because it's ballroom and foxtrot, it's probably one of the easiest ones to learn. But when you can throw them up in the air a few times
it's fun,
and how those highlights. But that was like last week, right? Everyone's getting really into the moments. Like the dancing is one thing, but just Craig's talking about wanting to be entertained, right? I mean,
of it.
I can see that just being epic all the way through, so I think he's got a cracking chance.
Yeah, OK. Next up, let's talk about Pete and Jowita. They've got a couple's choice as well this weekend. Steve, now, you made a few mistakes last weekend. It was at the bottom of the leaderboard. Do you think he can bounce back with his couple's choice?
Yeah, I mean, you say about those mistakes, and it's hard, isn't it, to let those mistakes go, to park them. Particularly when it's so early on in the dance as well, like it was for him last week. To be able to park that and get on with the rest of it is something special. I mean, we talk about it in sport all the time, forget about it and moving on.
Yeah.
But I think that he started to do that, and he's got to draw a line under it, and he's going into a couple's choice, which means that he's got the freedom. Let's have a sit down. What are you going to enjoy? What are you going to want to do? How can we make you enjoy this so you're not thinking about it so hard? Let's forget the technical. Let's go and have some fun.
He was emotional on yesterday's show, wasn't he, talking about it?
Well, it's interesting, Catherine, because now he doesn't have a character to hide behind. So how do you think he'll do?
It's much scarier, I think, actually, to just have to be yourself. He's not even wearing shoes. I mean, it's very exposing. I genuinely
That's how you know his couple's choice to do.
Yeah, it is. Every time you think, wow, sock-free, it's really letting loose. I think he's going to be great. I think it's better that he's himself. In a way, it might be more freeing, actually, and more relaxing. But, oh, my goodness, are you available for pep talks?
Do you know what? Bria, who choreographs this, and always does a superb job. Bit of bounce back for Jay after last week. But, I mean, when was that? Probably midweek, I'd imagine, that training footage, and it already looks pretty fantastic to me.
That was in the ballroom today.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So they're ready.
Good.
Yeah,
it's looking
they're
good,
totally
isn't it?
ready.
OK, on to JB and Lauren. They're doing a Samba this weekend. Now, Steve, the judges felt like we finally saw JB dancing last weekend. Do you think he can keep up the momentum with this Samba?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've got to remember last week, with it being couple's choice, played to his strengths, worked with what he knows. This is much more technical. This is about the feet being right at the right time, the right place, and the symmetry working perfectly for them both. So as it was said earlier, playing in the comfort zone maybe last week. If you're not going to get a good score there, where are you going to get it?
Yeah.
This is going to be pushing him a little.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing that routine. Right, let's hear what our Friday panel think of our final 4 couples. We're starting with Sarah and Vito. They're doing an American Smooth.
Oh, next.
Now, Catherine, their song
They're
has a
just
lot
amazing.
of meaning. This has a lot of meaning for Sarah.
I know.
And all of the Miranda fans watching at home. How much pressure do you think that adds to this?
I think the greatest travesty is that she can't sing it as well.
I
as
know,
Samba. That
I
is
know.
for me the devastating factor. But I think, yeah, of course it has so much pressure, but also hopefully it'll kind of live in her body as like humorous and camp and all the things it was in the show, because that's what ballroom is as well. And I think that's probably what she should lean into. But I mean, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be hard to watch her keep a serious face while she does it. But other than that,
it's a completely different meaning now.
Yeah, but I do think it's a gorgeous choice. It's fun.
And Steve, they've had 9s and 10s over the last couple of weeks. They're real contenders now in the competition.
Well, it has to be absolutely sensational for the male celebrity, for the score, and also for people to vote. I'm sure he's got it in him, but I mean, it's such a challenge to do it. I mean, you basically stood there, aren't you? And they dance around. You've got to make that look good and let them finish the move. And I didn't. Even now, I don't get it. 15 years later,
Still trying to crack it. Catherine,
Steve knows though.
Yeah, Steve's got it. He's got everything. There've been 5 rumbas so far on the series. The average score has been 28.5.
See?
And Shayne's average score is 30.3. So what
Okay.
score are you predicting?
Oh, wow.
for him this week?
Yikes, this really should be your job. But I think, look, I think ballroom has been his comfortable place. That's where he gets his highest scores. So I'm slightly nervous for him. But I'm going to say higher than 30, because I feel like he has a confidence to him again, which probably because he got a little bit knocked, I think he sort of freed himself of perfection. So I think it's going to be good. I loved his dance last week, so I'm sort of optimistic. But I mean, it's hard to make a standing still look exciting.
Well, we shall see.
Oh no, I actually gave it a go, and it turns out I'm a really good dancer. She's going to be fine. She has nothing to worry about. I honestly think the only thing that went wrong last week was Craig's score. It was embarrassing. But other than that,
The thing is, the standard's so high, isn't it?
Yeah, and that
It's
is
so
fast.
high.
I mean, we've got to say nice things because Aljaz hasn't left the studio.
he's
Aljaz,
still here.
brilliant. It's
Oh,
really
he's
looking
still there.
forward to it.
You're
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're great. Okay, the panel have spoken, but there's one final question they must all
I'm
answer.
going now. Oh.
Gethin, I'm starting with you. Who do you think's going to leave the competition this
Look,
weekend?
it could have been different way, depending on American Smooth and couple
No, I'll
choices
just
and everything.
spit it out.
Okay, fine. I just think the Rumba, it's got to be. I'm sure it will be. It has to be sensational. Shayne and Nancy, but it has. I'm wrong.
All right, gosh, Catherine, who do you think?
I think based on quality of dancing, I think Pete.
Oh my
I'm sorry. You're furious.
Wynne, Katya?
Win. Hey, listen, I've been doing the stats, remember?
You've been doing the
All right,
stats.
I've been
Well,
doing
I'm
the
going to
stats.
take it. Give it up for our Friday panel. Amazing. That's it for this week. Thanks to all my guests. I'm back Monday chatting exclusively with the 7th couple to leave the competition. And of course, tomorrow night you can watch all the action with Tess and Claude at 6:35 on BBC One. Have a great weekend.